What's up again, everybody? I'm Clayton. Welcome to the pack. So today we're going to be reviewing Child's Play 3, released in 1991, directed by Jack Bender, starring Brad Dourif coming back voicing Chucky, and we got Justin Whalen in his first portrayal as Andy. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. While you're here, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already and you're enjoying the content. We're doing a Chucky a Child's Play franchise review series, and I want to thank everyone for being here and for tuning in. Also, just as a disclaimer, this is just my opinion about this movie. No need to be upset or offended by anything that I say. Let me know your thoughts and opinion on Child's Play 3 in the comments section, and let's get rocking. So Child's Play 3 takes place 8 years after Child's Play 2. So it's been 8 years. Chucky is back on the loose once again after Andy. So I'm going to give my thoughts, positives, negatives here, things that I like, things that I dislike about the film, and then an overall rating at the end. That's typically how I do my reviews. So getting into the positives, one of the things, one of the strongest positives for me is Chucky in this movie. I love how Chucky is used in this film. We get a lot of Chucky in this movie, which I would imagine if you're like a big Chucky fan, if you're a diehard fan of Chucky or this franchise, that's a big deal. Like that's a big positive. I know for me, as a Halloween guy, as a Michael Myers guy, I want a lot of Michael in a Halloween film. And if I was a huge Chucky fan, which I'm a casual Chucky fan, I do like Chucky, but he's not, top of the heap for me. But I do like him, and I like that we get a lot of Chucky in this film. I think Brad Dourif in his vocal performance, again, on point as always, bringing a lot of personality to the Chucky character, just does a great job. And the animatronic effects of Chucky still look pretty good. I think it looks slightly better in part 2, but here it still looks good. And I think Chucky's written pretty well here as far as dialogue. Like, we get some great Chucky one-liners in this movie. That's something that I really like, something that's kind of become iconic with Chucky. Like, you want Chucky to have a lot of good like one-liners in the film. And I feel like here so far through these first 3 films, I feel like Child's Play Part 3 gives us the best Chucky one-liners through these first 3 movies. And I like that. It makes it more memorable, makes it more quotable, sticks with you a little bit. So yeah, Chucky, 2 thumbs up for me in this movie. He's definitely a strong positive. And I like that we open with Chucky. The opening sequence, we get Chucky right from the beginning. We don't have to wait for 30, 40 minutes before we get Chucky. We get him pretty much right out of the gate in the opening sequence in that office, the building, in the CEO's office thing. So all that was a strong positive. The creative kills, again, that's another positive for me. I like my horror villain, my slasher guy, to have creative kills, different kills, mix it up. Don't just give me the typical stab, slice, puncture type of kills. Mix it up a little bit. And Chucky, I think, is one of the best at that, at being creative, getting creative with his kills. And we get more of that here. We get a strangulation kill in the beginning, the CEO guy, which is probably my favorite kill of this movie, if I'm being honest, because there's also a lot of like pain involved, like a lot of torture. He shoots the guy with an arrow, shoots an arrow through his hand. He's like making him slip on the marbles. Like he's he scares them. So I feel like that first kill is probably the most savage of the kills in this movie. So that's probably my favorite one, just because of the pain and the kind of the torment that the guy's feeling along with it. So we get a strangulation kill, we get the dumpster crush kill, which is also an awesome kill. The reason I don't put that above the first one is because, again, you can kind of make an argument that it wasn't really Chucky doing the kill as much as it was the dumpster itself crushing the guy. Chucky was just the one operating the dumpster truck. So that's why I still put the first one above it, because that first kill was Chucky doing it. And I like kills where my slasher villain is actually the one doing the killing. It makes them more frightening, whereas just a machine or something else doing the killing takes away from the brutality necessarily of the killer himself. So I would personally still put that first kill above the dumpster kill, but that, it's still a good kill, and it still gets points for the creativity. There's also, the throat slash, typical slashing kill of the barber, military barber guy. So there's some good kills in here. Gets creative with that. That's a positive for me. I like seeing a gambit of different types of kills in a horror slasher type of movie. So that's also a strong positive for me. I also like the change of scenery here. From what I gather, it seems like a lot of people aren't a fan of the military school setting in this film. I don't have a problem with that, personally. I actually kind of like the change. Change it up a little bit. Change the scenery, change the setting. Doesn't have to be in a house every time. You can kind of put us in a new scenery. It also allows different plot devices to come up, different characters to be able to be set up to be killed off. So it creates a number of different opportunities there that you can use for the plot and for the story. So I actually am probably one of the only persons that seems to actually like the military school setting here. I don't think it feels out of place. I feel like Chucky's one of those malleable characters. You can change Chucky up in different settings. He's not a Jason that has to be at Camp Crystal Lake in every film. He's not a Michael that has to be in Haddonfield in every film. And Michael doesn't really have to be in Haddonfield every film, but you know what I'm saying? Like Chucky, you can put Chucky in different settings. He has that malleability to him that I like. So in here, you're kind of getting that change of setting, which I appreciate. So I also liked that we have a clear plot set up in this film. We have a plot goal by our lead protagonist, being Andy. His goal is to stop Chucky from getting into Ronnie's body. That's the goal for the protagonist. That's what plot is, the tension between the protagonist and the antagonist. Protagonist has a clear goal that he's trying to do, and the antagonist has a clear goal that he is trying to achieve that's coming in direct conflict with the protagonist, with Andy. Chucky's goal is to get into Ronnie's body. So there is a clear plot that is set up and driven through all the way, set up and paid off at the end. So I like that. It doesn't feel like a film that's just a total mess that doesn't really even know what it's trying to do or what it's trying to be. I appreciate that about this film. I enjoy the opening, the book ending to this film. I like the opening of this film, that sequence, kind of setting the tone, this kind of dark tone throughout the film that's telling you you're in a horror film. And I also like the ending sequence to the film in the circus, that on that ride, that haunted ride. Also a dark tone to the closing sequence of the film. So they match each other. The opening and closing sequences of the film put you in that dark tone in the film. And I like how it plays out. I like the production design in that circus ride at the end. Some really cool effects. When Chucky gets part of his face slashed off, that's a cool scene. It's just a cool setting and a cool look and tone to that sequence, that closing sequence in the film. And that's something, another thing that I really liked with the film. I thought it was entertaining. I kept my attention all the way through, and I didn't get too bored or drawn out at any point. So pretty entertaining for the most part. And then one other positive I do want to mention, because this was a criticism, a negative for me in the first two Child's Play movies, that they actually finally fix in this movie, and that is the false finishes. They finally get rid of the multiple false finishes at the end, which I said on both of my reviews of Child's Play 1 and 2, I'm not a fan of that. I don't like when you give me multiple false finishes, one after the other, after the other, after the other. It takes me out of the film, man. This one doesn't do that. It gives you one false finish when they think Chucky's dead after they shoot him, and then he comes back, and then he gets thrown off into the little spiral choppy thing and gets hacked to shack. So yeah, I like that. They finally fixed that with this film, and that gets a big, it's a big positive for me. I enjoy that they didn't just keep teasing the death scenes, and like they brought you finality to the plot. And they brought what seemed to be finality to Chucky's ending this time by having him get hacked to bits at the end. So that was another positive for me in this film. Moving in to negatives. There are some negatives I have here. One of them being, again, and this is one of the issues I kind of have with Child's Play Part 2, bringing Chucky back again. It just feels like too much of a stretch. I mean, Chucky, the spirit of Charles Lee Ray is supposed to inhabit this good guy doll. That's his new body. He can feel pain. He can bleed. They obviously kind of indicate in the first Child's Play movie that he grows a human heart inside the toy, Child's Play toy. So if the body of the doll dies or gets destroyed, Chucky should die with it. Like, the spirit of Charles Lee Ray should be sent to hell or purgatory or wherever it is he would go off to. He shouldn't just be able to come back into the good guy doll again once it gets fixed up. That's just not how spirits work. That's not how death works. When you die, when your physical body dies, your soul departs. That's just how it works. So if Charles Lee Ray's spirit is inhabiting this physical body of this doll, this good guy doll, if that doll dies, if that body gets destroyed, Charles Lee Ray should go with them. He should die with them. He can't just keep coming back every time because it's convenient for the plot. Like, I want a little coherency. I want some things to make sense for me. And I feel like that's just not something that they ever really explain or try to come up for an answer for. They just kind of expect you to buy it and roll with it. And Chucky's not like a Freddy or Jason or a Michael where there's a reason. You're given a reason why those characters can come back. Chucky, you're not given a reason. You just they just expect you to buy into the fact that the spirit of Charles Lee Ray can just keep inhabiting this doll every time. And I'm sorry, that's not That's not a satisfying conclusion for me. I need a reason. I need a why. Why should I buy into this? And we're never given that, and it's not given in this film either. And that's something that, again, kind of pulls me out a little bit from the story and from the character. But also, again, changing up the characters. You take in the second one, you took away two really strong characters with the mom and the detective guy, and you replaced it with one good character, Kyle. And then in part 3, you take Kyle away and you replace him with no strong characters. Reggie, or Ronnie, I think. Yeah, Ronnie is not a strong character. All right. He's not a well-written character. He's not a strong character. He's really just kind of a damsel in distress type of character. He's not a good, well-written character. Neither is Kristen. All right. I'm sorry. Kristen, for me, I'm kind of indifferent on Kristen, really. I mean, she's all right. There's nothing about her that really annoys me or bothers me. But she doesn't really give me a reason to like her either. Quite frankly, I don't really think she does anything for the plot of the film. She doesn't really do anything to help the protagonist achieve his goal of stopping our antagonist. She's just there kind of as a romantic interest, but she doesn't impact the actual plot really at all. So she's not really she doesn't really serve a purpose to the story or to this film. So you take her out and nothing really changes here. So she's not, I would also argue she's not a well-written character. So Kyle was a well-written character. She was a strong character. But now you take her away, so now we're not left with any strong characters to pull for other than Andy. And that leads me to another negative, and that's Justin Whalen's portrayal or performance as Andy. To me, he's just not that captivating. I don't think he brings a lot of charisma or energy to the screen. He's very forgettable. And yeah, he's not, what Kyle was or what the detective or the mom was in the first one. Even the kid actor who plays Andy in the first two, I think is even more memorable than Whalen is here. For me, I'm sorry, I don't really buy him as Andy, and he's kind of carrying this film, but he doesn't have the energy or that on-screen presence to really kind of make you invest with him that the prior films had. So the lack of any strong good characters here, as far as like likable characters here, is kind of an issue for me. It's still entertaining because of the setting and the plot and Chucky and everything. But yeah, you're taking away another good character and not replacing them with any other strong characters. So for me, that would be another issue for me. Also, this is something that kind of confused me, and that is why Chucky's going after Ronnie in this film. Like, Charles Lee Ray is obviously a smart guy. You would think that he would want to possess the body of an adult man. That seems like the logical idea, I guess, is like, why are you trying to take over this kid's body? Like, you're not going to really be able to do much more than you're already able to do as a doll. Quite frankly, you can probably get away more with doing more as a doll than you can as a kid. So to me, Chucky trying to take over this body of a kid doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I mean, you're not going to be able to drive. You're not going to be able to buy like alcoholic beverages. Not, Charles Lee Ray as Chucky obviously would probably be interested in that. You're just not going to be able to do a lot of things that as a kid that you would be able to do as an adult. You're not going to be able to defend yourself as well as you can as an adult man. So I just don't get, for me, I couldn't understand. I couldn't buy into Charles Lee Ray wanting to take over the body of a kid when the obvious logical idea would be fine. You're at this military school. Like, there are plenty of adult men that are in shape, have a good physique, that are well trained, and who you could take over their body and have a good physical specimen to, you know, to have. That sounds kind of weird, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm going after. So yeah, to me, it just didn't make sense. Why is Chucky trying to go after Ronnie, this little kid? I couldn't make sense of that. It doesn't make sense, especially being at a military school where there'd be plenty of opportunities to find an adult, fit, well-trained guy, adult man that you could take instead of Ronnie. So yeah, may not be an issue for other people, but that was something that always kind of bothers me when I watch this film, because it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And then Ronnie not recognizing the danger in this doll. Like, he finds this, he's supposed to take this gift to Andy, and he drops it multiple times, and he sees that underneath the package is a good guy doll. And he opens it up, and it's Chucky. And Chucky's obviously speaking with an adult voice. Like, he's obviously a person. And yet Ronnie can't tell that this is not just a normal good guy doll that he's seen 100 times. Like, to me, I get that he's a kid, but when I was a kid, I could distinguish between a plastic doll and an actual person with an actual voice, actual animation to himself, to his body and stuff. So to me, I was watching this for the review, and it just kind of like clicked with me. I was like, why is he not able to detect that this is an actual person? This isn't just a plastic toy doll. To me, that's a big asking me to just buy that. Yeah, a bit of a stretch there. And I don't know that I'm willing to go there with this film. And then the only other negatives I have, really, a couple of the kills. While I do like the creativity in the kills, there were a couple kills I wasn't really a fan of. One of them was the off-screen kill of the security guard. I'm never really a fan of off-screen kills. Sometimes they can be for a purpose. But in a movie like this, when the kills are a large part of what the audience and the fan base comes for, it just seems like all it would have taken was a 5-second scene of the security guard walking down the hallway, Chucky posted up in a pantry somewhere, jumps off with a knife, kills the guy. Like, it could have been a quick kill, but at least give it to us, reward us with the kill. So never really a fan of the off-screen type of kills like that. And then the heart attack one of the main Colonel Cochran guy in this film, just really weak. Like, why? I get that. I guess they were trying to be comedic with that, humorous in it, but the humor didn't really land. I just felt like you're taking away from Chucky. Like, that's that's his thing, man. That's his, that's what he does. And you set up what could have been a really cool kill just to take that kill away by the guy just having a heart attack and falling over. Like, Chucky didn't even get to kill the guy. So yeah, that was a little disappointing for me as well. But there you go, guys. Overall, my rating here, I'm going to give Child's Play 3 a solid 3 stars, 3 out of 5. I do like it. I do like this film. I think it's the weakest so far of the first 3, but that's not to say it's a bad film. I do still like it. So for me, a 3-star film is a film that I could come back to. So I could watch Child's Play 3 again. I could come back to Child's Play 3 again and enjoy myself and have a good time with it. So yeah, 3-star film. I like it. I enjoyed it. I can come back to it and probably will again in the future. But yeah, there you go. That's it, guys. That's all I got for Child's Play 3. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Do you agree with my rating? Do you disagree? Let me know anything and everything in the comment section. And until next time, kick it and rock on.